How many bouquets do you think go out just on Valentine's Day?
And too, just trying to think of growing the business and offering things, guys don't want to get flowers. Us women will look and go, wait, this was delivered and it's handwritten. He made the effort, the extra effort
I love that.
for me.
Welcome to episode 4.
Woo!
It's exciting, right? I'm Grafton with my co-host Rachel.
Rachel.
And we've got Brittany as our producer over here. So we're ready to do an episode that I'm not so sure I'm ready for.
As the single people over here.
Yes.
Valentine's Day.
Aren't we? This is my favorite holiday.
It's
I'm
been
kidding.
my cheapest holiday for the last 30 years.
There you go.
Well, as a girl, I would say that it's basically free, but it's not just because I'm a girl. My sons love Valentine's Day.
Aww.
So I actually last year spent a ton of money like getting them all the stuffed animals, and I had balloons, and so I take that back. I actually do like Valentine's Day.
Well, I used to get them from my mom, which, I was a mama's boy, so I'll take it. But, I've just been lucky not to be with somebody on Valentine's Day because it saves so much cost, right?
Just
so
that
much
one
cost.
part was lucky.
Just
right?
the one part.
Timing.
Everything else,
So here's a little key as a female. If you're single, what I've discovered is about 6 months prior to Valentine's Day, you order yourself flowers. You forget that you sent them to yourself, and then they show up and you're like, oh my God. And you always put
really smart.
secret admirer, and you're like, oh, look at me.
Look
I
what
a
I got.
secret admirer.
Yeah.
Listen, I have some beef with my dad because my dad in high school and stuff, he always used to send flowers to the school, which you'd think would be embarrassing, but I actually always kind of enjoyed that he did. But I haven't gotten those in several years. So,
Dad.
Well, it's
He's like, he passed that off to Ryan. He's like, no longer have to spend that money.
he should have trained him, There's
Exactly.
no training, no pass off.
It's not a bad holiday. I don't mind the holiday. I've just not experienced it. I've been in relationships during it, so I should take that back. I've been in relationships during Valentine's Day, but it's been not many years, very few. So I tend to not stay in relationships long. So
Well, I was going to
there's
say,
these
if that
gaps
was the
that
recurring
happen-
theme, because
Yeah,
at first
yeah.
you said that you had never had to spend money. It was your cheapest one.
Well, okay.
I was going to say, there's your bump.
I'm going to go ahead and just get this out there. So we're
scared.
going to talk about our best, worst Valentine's Day experiences, our first ones. And I'm going to go ahead and get it out with the first time that I ask a girl out, because this will help you understand my, fears towards relationships and Valentine's Day. So
Okay. I love it.
Here we go.
I was 4th, maybe 5th grade, and I thought I was a dog. I thought I was that
He was in
guy,
his Britney Spears
right?
era, as you learned last
I'm not going to live that one
episode.
down after the last episode.
No, never.
So I was really into this girl at church, and I was thinking, you know what, I'm going to ask her out. And this is before cell phones had really come out. We didn't have cell phones yet. Landline. So you get where this is going. So I'm like, you know
I
what?
can imagine.
I'm going to ask her out. I don't know what to or where, but I'm going to ask her to be my girlfriend. So
That's so cute.
I did my little Kevin Hart. I was in front of the mirror the entire night before I was looking at it. I was like, hey, how's it going? And I'm not going to say this person's name because they probably watch this podcast, and I'm friends with her and her now
Lucky
husband.
girl.
Part of small towns, right?
Husband.
Yeah. And so I'm just in there. I'm like, no, that's not right. And then I'm like, hey, how's it going? I'm like, that's just comes off. And so what do I say? So I go through it all night, and I'm like, I got it. I got the one I'm going to say. So I get ready, and I dial her number, and it starts ringing, and I get a little butterflies in my stomach. And then all of a sudden, here's what I hear. Hello. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't go through the scenario where her dad answered the phone. So her dad answers the phone, and I'm like, yes, Mr. So-and-so, could I speak with this person? And he goes, yeah, give me just 1 second. Who is this? And I said, it's Grafton. And he goes, oh, okay. are you with the Rainbow Girls?
What?
What are
The Rainbow Girls was like a Girl Scout type of troop. He thought I was a girl.
I was gonna say, was this like pre-puberty?
Puberty
How
had
old
not
were
hit
you?
yet. And I don't remember the rest of the phone call. And to this day, I am traumatized by that experience. So
you like see a rainbow in the sky? You're like, ah.
my confidence just went away. I don't even know if we were boyfriend. I have no idea. At that point, I just blacked out. That was it. That was my first experience.
You're like going to school the next day. You're like, are we a thing?
Yeah,
Or
like what is this? What are
don't
we?
know.
You know,
I
and my
don't
friends are asking me
remember.
how it goes, and I'm like, I honestly don't know. So that has set the tone for my dating relationships the rest of my life.
You just black out when you call.
Yeah. Anytime I'm asking a girl and I'm blacking out, I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't mean to call you. Like,
I don't even remember what I was
is her dad
calling
gonna
about.
answer?
Exactly. That trauma lives
oh,
with you.
it was bad. It was a really, but you know, like I said, we're still friends. She's great family. Her husband's an awesome guy. So that's mine. Now that that's out of the way, what's your all's first time you got asked out?
Oh Lord. So, being raised in a very conservative household, like dating wasn't really a thing. So I was older when I got asked out first, but okay, I'll tell a humorous story, but once again, no names because this person still lives in the community and knows themselves.
We're going to have a lot of that this episode. I have a feeling.
I remember my first crush, and I want to say I was 8 or 9 years old. And this gentleman, who's now happily married, was much older than me, and he was my brother's friend. And so he would come over and play with my brothers, and I just was completely smitten. Well, one time their entire family came over to our house, and we were all hanging out. Well, I don't know why, but I had this sudden urge at 8 or 9 years old to confess my deepest love for him, that we were going to get
I
married.
wish girls would do that now. It'd make things a whole lot easier.
Well, my mom kept all these cards, Hallmark cards. So I went and I cut all the wedding cards up with the wedding dresses, and I put all of it in a box. And I remember spending the entire time they were there in my parents' closet cutting, and I taped stuff together. And anyway, in the middle of the whole group of family, I hand deliver this wedding proposal to this
worst
much
timing.
older. The best part was that he just was completely in shock and embarrassment.
What did your
mortified.
brothers do?
Oh, I can't even recall. I blacked out.
Exactly. The first one you always
I don't even
black
remember,
out.
but I did a couple of years later stumble across that box, and I had to die laughing because, when you're 8 and 9, it's such a pure thing, right? You're like, oh my God, I just love this human and I want him to know. No. Terrible idea. It was a terrible plan. Terrible. He never spoke to me again. It was the most awkward, uncomfortable.
At 8 or 9, your grasp on reality is non-existent.
No.
So,
No.
in your defense,
I still thought we were living in the fairy tales. He was
Exactly.
gonna pick me up, and
you watch
it
all
was
the
over.
movies that
Yes.
demonstrate that,
I have had about since then I've had about 30 years to realize that that's not real. It's been brutal. Okay, brutal reality check.
And that's why we are single in the way that we are.
I know.
We
Well, I
know
was
that.
just considering poor Ryan because Brittany is the only one that is not single in the crowd and also married. So I feel like in
true.
every episode so far, Ryan has gotten a little bit of there's not like me who's married and I can be like, yeah, my husband did this. Ryan's always the one that gets a little shit on.
Yeah.
So sorry, Ryan.
We're sorry,
Hey,
Ryan.
honestly,
I
it's just
apologize.
part of marriage in general. We both pick on each other equally, but it's a great position to be in.
Do you remember your first boyfriend or somebody who asked you out? I'm gonna guess it was Ryan.
Yeah, gaddies.
Hey, but I will say we met in 2nd grade, so I did know him really early on.
There you go.
But it was a large gap in between there. I remember my first boyfriend, which I think was in 1st grade. So the year before that, I don't remember honestly. It was a really long time ago, and I got a little Valentine's Day. Speaking of, I got a little Valentine's Day card from him that was a frog.
Oh,
And I think I held on to that thing for several years afterwards.
so sweet.
So kind of awkward.
That just made me think about the fact that I have to prep Valentine's things for the kids.
Get it ready.
I just forgot.
See, I'm gonna give props for Ryan. Ryan's a really great dad. And
he is.
He really is.
One of the
and
best.
He took the girls, they just were randomly out. I think the last time maybe we were out to film a podcast or something like that, he took the girls to like Target, and they already have their Valentine's Day cards just prepped
Ryan,
and ready.
I can give you my address. My kids will be home tomorrow evening if you want to pick them up.
Just give us a list of all the kiddos in their
Just
class.
what we need. Gosh, that was fun. Always having the Valentine's Day. You know,
Making the boxes.
Being homeschooled, I got one from every sibling.
From every sibling.
If you can't make fun of yourself, you know?
No, you can't. If you can't make fun of
My
yourself, you
first
can't have
boyfriend
fun.
was my brother, only because when we were playing house as kids, Michael always married.
Stop him for a
I
second.
know.
I was like,
I was like,
we're
hold
in
up.
Kentucky. Do not make
Do
me.
not say jokes like that.
Well, the best part was like my brother Michael would always be married to Susanna, so I would beg Josh, who was much older than the rest of us, right? And he would pity marry me. He'd be like, "Fine, I'll be married to you when we played house."
He's
He had to
gonna
do the crying
He's gonna murder you
spit.
after this episode.
But no, he still has my back. I remember one year Joe was deployed while we were married, and I was pretty down. And my brothers, who one was married at the time, but one was single, they came and picked me up, and we went back home for dinner on Valentine's. And that was
sweet.
very, very special to me because they knew that I was alone. And so they're always there to pick me up in one way or the other. Sometimes it's with merciless jokes. But
Oh, yeah, for sure. So but that was first boyfriend, girlfriend situation. What was your first date?
Oh, it's Movie Palace for me. I
Me
know.
too.
I remember it's Movie Palace. Like it's without a doubt. And Mom drops me off, and I'm like, go. Like, get out of
Yeah.
here. I'm meeting her at the front. I'm buying her the ticket, but I need some money to buy her the ticket, please.
that's so cute.
That was 100% mine. I don't remember what movie we saw because, again, I'm blacked out. I'm trying to figure out what to do with my hands. Don't you play that again. And I'm sitting here like, do I put it on a leg? Do I do the yawn? What do I do at this point? I have no idea.
Yeah.
So
Did you hold her hand?
yeah, we held hands, and we actually were boyfriend and girlfriend for about a year or so, whatever you want to call it. But
so
you
cute.
know, like
How old
others,
were
it
you?
didn't last. Gosh, at that time it was probably right after the girl and I couldn't figure out what was happening when I asked her, Dad, if I
Rainbow.
could speak with her. Yeah, with I don't want to call her Rainbow Girl. That's not it's a
We're
really
gonna-
good
she's
program. It's a
getting
really
called
good program. No,
No, I'm
but
kidding.
but it's one that I was just moved past it and had to go on to the next, and then that's what happened. So that was my first date was Movie Palace.
Brittany, yours was too?
Mine was too. Once again, like same as you, I don't remember the movie. The only thing I remember, because it was like my first kiss, technically too, but it was like half on the lips, half on the cheek, like one of those real awkward first rounds. So, super memorable. And that's all I remember from my first date.
Okay, do y'all remember Spirit Nights at Chick-fil-A when like churches or
Oh,
whatever?
yeah.
Well, so what I would classify as my first date, we went to a Spirit Night, and there was they were doing like face painting, and I remember asking if I could paint something on him, and I wrote my name on his arm, and like that was like I knew he was mine at that
That was
moment.
it.
Yep.
You knew it.
Because
Yep.
I marked him.
I did.
I knew he was mine because my name's there.
I know.
Well, so we've got a lot more deep dive into to the L word, I guess, love. And we're gonna get into some of that stuff with our guest, who
Yeah.
will be here soon.
She,
so
I mean,
this
this is probably the queen of Valentine's Day, wouldn't you say?
to be.
It has to be in this area. It has to
Yes.
be. Yeah.
So
I wouldn't know that. I'm just agreeing because I've never bought many flowers for anybody. So
Listen, I'll give you my address.
you got
Okay,
it.
when
you
the
got
first
it. You got
round
one coming.
comes,
You got one
come
coming.
to us and we'll tell you. Well,
Okay.
actually, you go to Danelle and she'll tell you what to get.
Yeah, she's got my address on file. Just tell her my
Good,
name.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm going to need to make that connection tonight if I want to, move on in life and maybe have a family and stuff someday. So I'll keep her number on speed dial.
Well, I am super, super excited about today's guest. So obviously being a female entrepreneur myself, this lady that is coming in to join us today, she runs a incredible business here in our community. And when we were considering who we wanted to bring in for this special holiday, it was like, we got to bring in somebody who understands Valentine's Day. And so Danelle Fogle, we're super excited to have her with us. So she runs Florist. And so to have her here and sit down and hear her story, how she got into business, but then the chaos of running a flower shop at Valentine's Day.
I don't want to know. I mean, I want to know, but I don't want to. I don't envy it. I don't envy it. So
well, and she's also diversified. So I'm super excited to hear some of her other business things. We've used her in a couple of our client events, and so she's just an incredible, well-rounded individual with an awesome family. Her husband is, in big himself. And
he's a good dude.
Yes.
And I know he's a lender. I'm a lender, but he's a good guy.
He's a great
Brandon's
guy.
a good guy.
Yep,
so.
Yep. So we will be sitting down with her momentarily and definitely digging more into Valentine's.
Yeah, so we'll get with her right after a word from our sponsors.
I'm Madison, and this podcast episode is brought to you by Florist. Order online for all your floral needs at www.etownflorist.net or give me a call at 270-765-4134 because we are more than just your favorite florist.
Hey guys, we are back and I'm so excited to share with you guys our guest for today. Mm-hmm. As you can tell, we had a delivery during the break and little did she know that I actually love roses. So these are just stunning and you should smell this room. Smells unbelievable. So I'm super excited to introduce our guest. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, power woman. She's an entrepreneur. She runs her own business and it's massive here in our community. And specifically, Valentine's Day is one of the big ones. So Danelle Fogle, we are so excited to have you here in our studio with us tonight. We, as we were talking on break, I have gotten to work with Danelle for several years now, gotten to fall in love with you and your passion and just, she has such a presence in the room. She just lights up the space. And as we sat down, we were kind of talking about our why and it was like, as much as I've worked around you and with you and I'm so in love with you as a person, I don't know your story. And so to actually get to sit with you tonight and hear your story from start to how you got into business, to the adventures of being in the flower industry at Valentine's Day. I can't wait. This is by far going to be probably one of my favorite episodes.
And I'm excited to learn how to be a good boyfriend with all your stories because I'm going to need that. This is the first flowers I've gotten on a Valentine's Day, so thank you for that. It's the first time I've gotten that. So no, but we're excited to get to know a little bit about you, your family, how you got started.
Yeah, I'd like to dial back. I think I'd like to know just kind of, so maybe we don't go back to childhood, but when did you make it to Elizabethtown, Hardin County area?
Okay, Brandon and I made it to Elizabethtown maybe 16 years ago.
Wow. Okay, so you've been here for a while.
Yes.
So, and then tell us a little bit, if you don't know Brandon Fogle, he's a lender, South Central Bank. He's more than a lender. He runs the place, right?
He's a competitor. No, I'm kidding. No, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. He is.
But you two are quite the power couple.
Aww,
so tell me a little bit about meeting Brandon and your love story. I really want to hear this.
Okay, well, actually, when Brandon and I first met, it was at Fork Bank in Lexington, Kentucky. Aww. And I was one of the 4 staff accountants for Fork Bank working in the auxiliary building, and Brandon was in loan review. So he checked out like all the underwriting and things and made sure that everything was in order. And, with being in accounting, you had loan review where you had a lot of people across the way. And Brandon would come over and steal our coffee. We would have drinks on Friday night after 2. And I'd be like, Brandon, this is for accounting. You got to go.
He knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
He knew what he was doing.
He was there for more than the coffee.
So Lexington, so that's where you guys, well, and I know he's a big Cats fan if I'm thinking, right? He's big.
Careful. He is a diehard U of L fan.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Brandon, I thought I knew better. I know Braden over there is a big one. I thought you were too, but that's just, it's taking him down a notch for me. I don't
he
know.
went to U of L. I went to UK. So and we were a house divided. So I'm okay.
And you're the UK fan,
yes.
And this is why we brought you on.
Right. Yes.
Hater.
I'm first, Brandon.
Okay, wait. So you met in Lexington, but when I mean, he was coming over for coffee, but when was the move made? Like, where did it go down?
Well, we just started noticing, like at bank functions and things like that, it seemed like we were always the youngest people in the room, at the time. Like we'd go to the Lexington Legends games, and I love baseball.
Oh, those are fun.
They are
so much
so
fun.
much fun.
So much fun.
And so, we'd find ourselves, having a beer in the corner and talking, and so just over time, a relationship had built, and, it just kind of flourished. It was an office thing, and then it was,
So
This is cute.
did he get you with any first Valentine's Day sweetness, or was he good at that yet, or did you have to train him?
No, like we did not
Sorry,
really.
Brandon.
Yeah. Brandon, he got Valentine's Day once he started making deliveries, and he came to the basement and he goes at the shop and he goes, you know what? Women love to get flowers at work.
Yes,
and
we
I'm
do.
like, yes, awesome.
Did it just finally occur to you?
Yeah. And I was like, but I have them here. So flowers isn't something you need to send me.
Right.
And
Right.
and when I came home the night of our first Valentine's Day of him delivering and helping me, I had a huge bag that had 5 gifts in it, and it was actually some kind of designer handbag thing. And I mean, he really went then above and beyond, where it's like
Once
this.
he knew.
Once he knew, and I was like,
Yes.
this is either making up for a lot of Valentine's Days,
You screwed
but
up.
but I was like,
So, go ahead. No,
Oh,
you-
look at us. We're just
I know, we're
dying.
ready. We're ready. We're ready.
let's talk about it.
Well, I was just going to say, so you are a mama. Tell us a little bit about your boys.
They're my number one Valentines.
Oh, mine
You
too. We understand.
Boys love their moms.
Yes, we
they
do.
I love that. That's good to know.
Yes.
Yeah. So I have Xavier. He is 9 years old. He will be 10 in March. And then we have Oxford, who's 7.
That's so sweet.
That's awesome.
Okay, so
Well,
go
what I was
ahead.
going to get into
Yes.
is you talked a little bit about Brandon kind of starting to help with deliveries. What got you into the floral side of things?
When did the floral business? Because you said you were in banking, so you got here 16 years ago. At what point did this opportunity, and was there an entrepreneurial opportunity that started first, and then you got into the flowers, or was this just straight into it?
Absolutely. When we first came here, I was the marketing coordinator for South Central Bank.
Okay.
So I was driving a lot down to Glasgow, and then also had an office here in Elizabethtown. It was a lot going back and forth. And then I found myself more and more going to Glasgow, and it was a wonderful opportunity, but then as time went on, I'm like, this is something that needs to always be in home office, and I need to be here. So we kind of went that direction. And I stayed home after we had our first son, Xavier. And that afforded the opportunity to kind of tap into my creative things. I'll be honest, I think I got a little bit bored being at home.
Yeah.
As much as I loved, staying home and taking care of my son, I felt like I needed to find,
outlet.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it got into doing flowers, and then picked up some corporate events and some weddings. And then it was every weekend. And then Brandon started noticing this was every weekend. And
Flowers everywhere.
yes, and it was. And I'll be honest, they were in the dining room. They were going up the hallway. And then I had a 2-year-old, and I'm like, please don't touch. And he never did. My nightmare was I know.
That's so cute.
I thought I'd wake up and somebody's whole wedding would be all over the house.
Oh, no.
Oh, that would be horrible.
So it started as just a passion, so it wasn't oh, I bought this business and I need to. This really was born out of just a love for
Just organic, really.
Yeah,
It
for
was,
flowers.
Yeah, and finding myself a little bit.
That's
you
beautiful.
know? Yeah.
and now you're the go-to for all
You
events
really
in
are.
Hardin County, for sure.
And it's
got
Anytime we
lucky.
have an event, we're calling you.
Well, I mean, I'm on the board for Helping Hand for Hope, and we were discussing an event in August, and your name was immediately brought up. We need to talk to Danelle about flowers. So, you really have become, passion project. You are doing it in your house. When did you get presented with this opportunity? Did you start that business, or did you purchase that business?
Okay, E-Town Florist has been in the community since 1947.
oh, wow.
I didn't know that.
Yes. So it's a 78-year-old business here in Elizabethtown.
That's so cool.
It is awesome. And so when I was doing the flowers at the house, then I got some big customers, I guess, name drop a little bit. Robert Carr was on Time magazine. And I got to do his Get Beyond. He does credit card processing. They hired me for their Midwest conference out of my house. And I even told them I was out of my house.
No. I think you're like the wrong person.
Like it was kind of like, that was like, okay, I think I can really do something with this.
Yes. Yes. That's like a pinch me moment.
I think Brandon thought she can really do something with this.
Brandon
Brandon's
saw money
calculating at this
signs.
point. He's wondering how far we can take this.
Yes. And so he asked me, he goes, do you want to start a florist here in Elizabethtown? I think it's time to open up a shop. And I was like, no. I said, this is mommy money, and I don't want to take that next step because then there's a lot of overhead. That's the accounting side that triggered it.
Yes.
And I was like, there's overhead, and the fact that I would have to compete with Elizabethtown Florist, and they have the name of the town. It wasn't 2 months later, he was going to bed one night and he goes, I have to show you this on Facebook. I would not be okay with going to bed without showing you this. Well, that could be anything, And I'm like, what is it, And he said, Elizabethtown Florist is for sale. And I said it 2 months before then. It's been around for 70 years before that. And I said, well, can I talk to them? And he goes, you can talk to them, but that don't mean we're buying it.
He's like, money talks. Let's see what we got here.
Well, so you ended up buying it, and you ended up, going into business. You've grown it a lot more than just the floral side of things since then, right? I mean, what other stuff do you all do? And I know what it is because we've had it at some events, but what else do you all do other than just delivering flowers, which is sometimes what people think that florist
shops do.
Right.
Yes. So we have many other lines that we offer as well. One is charcuterie. So we do charcuterie cups for events if you want to personalize them with your logo on
It's
them.
the cutest thing. I mean, we
did that.
Like, imagine charcuterie, but in a way that you can just carry it and to go. It's all in this cute little cup. And I mean, it's really gourmet. Like, it's fancy.
And they taste really good, too.
It tastes amazing.
That's
really
the most
good.
important part,
Yes.
to be honest.
My only problem with charcuterie is that, everybody has to kind of stand around and like pick at it.
Yes.
But this is like grab and go, and then you can go sit down. One of my favorite things you came up with.
Oh,
Those are
thank
awesome.
you.
Great job.
Thank you. And too, just trying to think of growing the business and offering things, guys don't want to get flowers.
No.
So what can I send?
Except for these.
Oh,
I love
okay.
these.
You know what?
Yeah.
That's good. I'm so happy. Like, that's amazing. Where's my heart? I'm the Care Bear. Yay.
I love it.
But, just thinking about for men, and I was like, men love to eat.
Yes, that's the way to our heart. You want it's food, 100%.
Yes. So we do the boxes as well because the cup's good for us.
Yeah.
But a man wants the charcuterie box.
Right.
Because she
Little
can't
bit
eat
bigger
that all by
serving
herself,
size.
right?
Yeah.
Well, and so I remember I even did one once. There was, and we're gonna get into these stories with relationships, girls, all the guys, all that stuff, right? But I remember doing one. It was COVID. And during COVID, I had met this girl on one of the dating apps. And I was like, we can't go on a date. Everything's closed. She was a little weary about meeting up just because it had just happened. She lived with her grandparents, all this kind of stuff.
I'm
So
about to love the thought process that went into this.
well,
I'm so impressed.
You're
right
not
now.
going to like the end then.
Oh.
So I was
Bummer.
like, what can we do? And I remember as we were talking, she talked about how big of a Star Wars fan she was. I'm not into sci-fi. So I'm like, I've never seen the movies. I was like, what can I do? I was like, you know what? I could send her one of those care packages, but more with like candies and things like that from a movie. And we could start it at the same time, watch Star Wars at the same time, text,
thoughtful.
talk during it, whatever, right? Yeah. So I do this whole thing, have this big get up, and I send it to her because actually I take that back. She was not on a dating app. It was organically through somebody at work. And so I send her this whole package through her friend. She drops it off at her doorstep. We text. I thought everything was going great. I get ghosted for that. Ghosted
Isn't that
for that.
Crazy?
No.
I'm sorry, but he told
That
me
was
that
a lot
story
of
the other
fun.
day, and
I
I was
did.
mad. I
You
don't
know
know
what
who
she
you
did?
are.
You know what she did? She was in her toxic era. She opened the box. She was like, "Oh my God, that's a happily ever after," and shut
Yeah,
this up.
I'm telling you what.
Toxic
When you know what you want, you know what you want. I
Yes,
don't know.
that's
I
a
don't
perfect
know.
example.
That is real,
Yes,
okay?
he's too nice.
I have passed up some really good guys because I was in my toxic era. That is over,
Rachel,
by the way.
stop.
Yes.
You're not allowed.
But
Let
it
me
is
run the
surreal.
interview.
If you're not ready, you're not ready.
I got you, girl.
There it is.
So I just am curious, before we really get into some of these funny stories, I would love to know, like, as a business owner myself, were there ever moments, so how long have you owned the business now?
We are going into the 7th year.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
So as you head into 7 years, has there been moments where you thought, okay, I made a mistake, or this is a lot more than I thought it would be, or like I've bit off more than I can chew? And so were there moments like that? And then what was kind of that driving force that pushed you through those challenging moments?
Honestly, it has been the biggest blessing of my life.
Oh.
And I got almost cry saying
I know
that.
you look emotional
I know.
right now.
I know.
I love that so much.
It
though.
really has. And I absolutely love Elizabethtown Florist. To me, it's its own entity. It survived without me for 70 years, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm hanging on.
Well, you're going to keep a
takes me-
legacy going. I mean,
Yes,
at the end of the
yeah.
day, you're keeping a legacy going, because without you, who knows what it would have turned into.
Yeah.
And I want
sure.
it to keep going. That's why we continue to strive to add on things. And then it is hard, you know, because it's a passion. And when you're passionate about something, if it was easy, are you actually passionate about it?
No. For sure.
Right.
I'm sure it's like very much like my businesses. I take it home with me. It is what I dream about. It's what I think about. I mean, people ask me all the time, like, what do you like to do for fun? I'm like, work. Like that's
That's
is my fun.
100%
That is-
true.
It is my entire life. So I can tell with the way you just got emotional about it. Like it really isn't just something you do for a living. It is who you are as a person. It's your
And what we do has a lot to do with people's happiness.
Yes.
you enter with the type of work you're in. You're either entering a very happy, wonderful moment, or oftentimes meeting people in their most painful moments with bereavement flowers or sympathy flowers. Or so I mean, it's flowers in any aspect are there to comfort and brighten and offer peace in some situations. So it's such I would love to be in your kind of work. I mean, that's one of the reasons I love real estate, right? It's always, I get to show up and either help people through really challenging things or celebrate with them for, the happy moments. So that's very much what you get to do as well.
Absolutely. And maybe that was the most challenging part with E-Town Florist is the first year I ran from the funeral consultations. You know, I'm like, this is deep, and I'm used to weddings and events. And then when I sat with the first family and I thought, just listen, and only go as far as they want to take the conversation, and then ask them, well, how do you want them to be memorialized, and how do you want the final tribute to look? And then I want to take that and then exceed that expectation. And then it was an honor to do that for people,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
because we all have loved ones,
we do.
and that's something we all can't escape,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, awesome. Well, we can, sorry for the deep,
No,
I know,
that's what we're for. No, you're good. You're good.
I love
That's
Rachel.
good
She
stuff.
can always dive us down into that.
Well,
but
and
I
the cool
love
thing
those
is
moments.
like I said earlier, like I see your work ethic, and like I'm telling you, she's got an incredible team. You've got a great staff. Like I've been in your store, they all they're quick to jump in and help, and we can take care of you no matter what. I mean, I'll text this girl at 11 a.m. and be like, can you make this happen today? Like, I need it now. And she's like, yeah, I got you. No problem. Like, that's their team. It's incredible. But without a really incredible leader, so despite your humility, I know I've seen this girl. I mean, we had an event not too long ago, and it stayed out until very late, and it was cold, and she smiled and served drinks the entire time.
Which we haven't
she
even
didn't
talked
even
about
have to
that.
be there. Like she just wanted
Yes.
to. Like she
As-
hung out with us. It was awesome.
As the business owner, so like I'm very impressed by you, but knowing the emotion behind it, that makes me love you and be impressed by you even deeper. So
thank you.
yeah, but tell us so
We
we
did
cut
miss
her
that,
off a little
yeah.
bit. So she was talking about the food for guys. You had the trailer and you serve out of that. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we came up with the Tipsy Horse. It's a mobile bar and catering
love
service.
I love the name.
It's so cute.
And that's a labor of love. We came up with the idea to do this, and my brother actually made the horse trailer for me.
That's what you said.
Yeah,
awesome.
so I know how close you are in working with your brothers. I'm like, who can turn this rusty horse trailer into a bar? Afterwards, my brother moved to Arizona.
That was his limit.
He's like,
that's
I
it.
am
I'm done. I'm out. No more projects.
Yeah, so we have one trailer.
Uno. That's as far as that
So you
business
get
is
to
going.
see people let their hair on and let loose a little bit too with that side of the business, So
I mean, and we saw you. I mean, you do you also did the gala event for the hospital, Baptist Health. I mean, so is there any other aspects that you want to touch on that you guys cover now at this point?
With the catering, with the charcuterie, and sometimes we do like dessert grazing tables. So really we're kind of hors d'oeuvres and dessert type of situation. The alcohol for events.
So all the best parts of a party: flowers,
Yes.
charcuterie, and
And
drinks.
dessert.
The fun dessert
Yeah,
parts.
yeah, like-
Yes.
And here's the new thing's mocktails, So,
is.
and that's what we did,
We did.
for
At our
your
event,
event. With, which is
And you know
perfect.
what? I don't even think most people realize they were mocktails. Like, they were so tasty, so cute.
They
were
wanted that
sparkly.
more than the actual alcohol.
Yes.
They
Yeah.
were so cute.
It turned out,
And she puts her little love touch on those too, like themed.
All right,
I
this
love
is a
that.
guy thing. What's a mocktail?
So a cocktail, but it's mock.
Yeah. So
So-
it just doesn't have the alcohol in it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you can drink like 12 of them and not feel
And
guilty.
not feel anything. Perfect. Perfect.
And go get in your car and drive. And
But
everyone's
it
okay.
feels
Everybody's
the other. Okay,
safe
makes
and-
sense. Okay, I'm gonna get made fun of for not knowing that one, but let's move on. All right.
He's like, I just do the alcohol.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know that he's had one.
So, and another, like, that just touches again on that theme. Every entrepreneur that we've had in this hot seat, they've diversified their business, right? And so we touched on that a little bit with Jimmy, the
Yeah.
importance of coming up with just other avenues of income, ways to spread your business a little bit further. And I love that, but it's all in one sector, right? You're still the party, you're still coming in at those celebration type moments. And so that's incredible. I love that. And in just a
So-
short amount of time, 7 years is not a lot of time to come up with all of that.
No,
Yes.
and they
So-
keep coming. Like I know with you, and you say you take your work home. It's like I constantly am thinking of different things to do, and it's like grasping at straws sometimes. But I want E-Town Florist to be around for 78 more years.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
And it's a florist, so you got to be inventive constantly.
Yes.
Right. And I love that.
I just don't see, you can obviously see over history a lot of different businesses who became irrelevant over time.
Right.
I don't see flowers ever being irrelevant. Like, I will keep you in business single-handedly. I mean, I freaking love
Listen,
flowers.
with all the flowers you get in the office.
You didn't hear earlier. She sends flowers to herself 6 months before Valentine's Day. So
That was her little girl tip.
Your
Yeah,
girl tip,
yeah.
if you don't have someone to buy you flowers on Valentine's Day, just order them 6 months early, and then you forget you bought them for yourself.
Yes.
And they show up, secret admirer.
So speaking of
Gosh,
Valentine's,
I love me.
I am so smart.
all right, so I've been waiting to get into the juicy stuff. And Brandon, I'm sorry, you might want to close your ears for this next question, but I'm curious as the first time you got asked out or got a bouquet of flowers.
Okay, my first time that I got flowers, and maybe I think the only time I really got flowers was from Brandon.
Oh, good. Phew.
You can open your ears now.
Or that I remember.
Good job, Brandon.
Yeah, selective memory. No, so he,
That's literally us. So.
yeah, we have to. So he said he actually had made a comment while we were dating that I didn't agree with. So, we kind of weren't
Sounds right,
talking.
men.
Right.
We would never.
He was learning still. Okay.
Yeah, this may not work out. And I had to have oral surgery. So I had missed work for a couple days, and he sent the prettiest bouquet of roses, actually. And it said, "I hope this brings you a painful smile." And it did. And I think it was love at that moment.
That was it.
Like, he knows me. He gets me.
Sweet.
Oh,
that's
that's so
great.
cute. Okay, so Valentine's Day's massive. I cannot even imagine how many bouquets you guys have that go out on one single day. So in a given what, and you probably don't start delivering until 8 a.m., I would imagine, and you probably stop at 8 p.m. So how many bouquets do you think go out just on Valentine's Day?
We deliver anywhere between 600 to 800 bouquets.
I cannot. Okay, how big is your staff?
We have a staff of 5 now.
Okay, so big staff, but even if I put
not
them
for
all
the-
on
Not
the
for
road,
that many. That's
For that many deliveries in one day, I
Yeah.
mean,
no, I mean, I've tried to deliver like 20 pumpkin pies at Thanksgiving, and that was an enormous undertaking. I felt exhausted. Okay, so 600 to 800. So who help? I mean, this obviously can't happen with
No,
even
you
5
can
people.
never staff or prepare for anything that size for one day, especially.
Right.
So I have really good friends in town, Duke and Katie Purdue, who own Stanley Steamer, And for the last few years, they have sent really all their managers from all their places and their trucks, their vans, all there on them, and has run all my bouquets for me on Valentine's Day.
That
just
is
to
so
support.
cool.
I love
Entrepreneur
that.
to entrepreneur, supporting each other when they knew that would be like, there was no way for you to make that happen without them.
No, and you want to hear one more sweeter?
Yeah.
When I started doing flowers out of my house, I would have to rent U-Hauls or trailers to take the flowers to the event. They gifted me their very first Stanley Steamer van that gave them their start. I'm going to tear up. They're really good people.
That's awesome.
And they said, this gave us our start, and we hope it gives you yours. And that was
Wow.
about the same time that I got E-Town Florist, so I drove it right over there.
Wow.
That's awesome.
It was really cool.
I would have never known that. Like I know Duke and Katie, unbelievable people. We're super excited. We will have them on. They will tell their story.
They are wonderful.
I mean, as cool as they are, I had no idea that they were so involved. I know there's some other local guys and friends that I've talked to, and they're like, Valentine's Day is coming up. I'm delivering flowers with Danelle, and I think it sounds so cool. But that's amazing. I love that as fellow entrepreneurs, I've been so supportive to your growth, and that's pretty cool. All on them, you said.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And this is, we are, the big small town, and, you get to know each other and build these relationships that building each other up.
Yep. They're
So I
very
love it.
impactful.
Yes.
That's
I love
super
that.
cool.
I
Me
love
too.
that. Now back to the juicy stuff. I was ready for it. No, that's good.
He's
That's
learning.
good.
He's taking notes.
I love that you have it, but this is so you don't just. I think people think that Valentine's Day you're just dealing with the good. You deal with the good, the bad, the ugly, the breakups, the oh baby I want you back type of stuff.
Hey, you can send one of those to me.
So I want to know if you can say it. What is the craziest message you've ever had someone send to someone else in one of your deliveries?
Okay. This is juicy.
I like it. I'm ready for it.
Plug in your kids' ears, okay?
Yes.
Censored.
This needs a disclaimer.
Good.
Okay.
This is what I was waiting for.
Okay. You ready? Take
Ready.
notes.
All right.
Okay. Roses are red. Violets are blue. I can't wait to get inside you.
Oh. Well, I know I'm single because I've never seen one of those.
I love that.
That was
Okay. Well,
that's really
I mean,
good.
let's just go straight to it.
Well, I just said the roses are red, violets are blue. I love you, or something like that. And I'm like, now I know what I'm doing wrong. Oh man, that
oh my
is
gosh,
great.
am I blushing?
Okay,
warm in
question.
here.
So when people are requesting to send flowers, I mean, are they calling you to tell you what they want on the note, or are they submitting that? Like,
They come in online. The notes come in online. Something like that had come in online. Okay. I mean, that was something.
imagine.
Now, did they own the note, or was it anonymous?
They owns it.
Oh, good for them. Good for them.
Yes, they owned it for sure. And I'm thinking,
That's
and we
great.
delivered to an office setting. So I promise.
That's so juicy.
Was
That's
it in an
awesome.
envelope at least?
Oh, but you know,
it's
every
one of the
girl
open
in there
notes.
went and had to read that card. Like when flowers arrive for me, I'm always like a little like, oh Lord, please, like.
And everybody wants to know, who's it
Oh,
from?
yeah,
What does it say?
Where they
Oh,
come from,
that's
who
great.
sent them. Yes,
So keep it PG, people.
Yeah. Well,
I love that.
I am glad I asked that question now.
A favorite delivery moment. So like either you or your staff, what was like the best delivery or wildest?
Okay, so 2 years ago, we had an ice storm the day before Valentine's Day.
Oh, that's a really inconvenient time.
Right. And Valentine's
What a
Day is
nightmare.
one day.
Yes.
And you've got to get this done one day and one day only.
Yes.
So we were out delivering. And you've seen our shop van. It's a little cute little like
Yes.
go-kart on wheels. And our
No.
our driver went to go and he wanted to stop once he saw
He
that
wanted
the hill.
to.
He wanted to. And
Keyword.
here's the hill. And he slid all the way down the hill and into the ditch.
Oh,
Luckily, it was a straight ditch. You know, it wasn't too bad. You know,
Yeah.
I was gonna
somebody's
say, you
yard.
coulda-
Yeah.
I feel bad for the driver, but you could have lost a lot of bouquets during that too.
Yes. Well, this is how great our staff is, and no kidding. He proceeded to call to say that, you know, he was off the road. And I said, okay, I'll get somebody out there right away. He decides, well, the house is only 2 houses over. I can walk this bouquet to the house in the snow. And he got out of the car and he walked the house. And the recipient said, oh my gosh, I should have called. Our hill is always ice for days. And they insisted on paying to get us towed because they didn't call. And I said, no, this is part of the delivery service. It's, it's on us. No big deal. And actually, and this is another shout out I have to give, Poke Towing. Here in town. I called them and went to settle up, and they said, just want to keep you on the road. It's Valentine's Day. Don't worry about it.
That's awesome.
And
You're
again,
like the Santa Claus of Valentine's Day.
Right.
I think people love love.
They,
Yes.
Hey, people love love. I couldn't agree more.
And I can say it for single guys too. We put out a hard shell sometimes, but at the end of the day, we've talked about it. Dating has gotten very difficult now because these apps, everything is app based now. You're swiping, and I'm guilty of it, but you don't even get to know the person. You're just swiping based off of looks, and it's really hard to do. So I'm curious, as the two of us single people sit here, if you were single today, how would you deal with all of that?
Wow.
She didn't see that question
I've toggled with
coming.
this question myself.
Yes.
Because it's so different than what
Yes.
probably how you and Brandon first started dating. Like, what do you see yourself and you and Brandon? Would you have swiped right on Brandon?
Ooh, that's a deeper question.
Ooh.
I would. Right means you keep him.
Yes.
Yeah, he has some chiseled good looks, and he
There
had
you
a lot
go.
more hair when I met him. So yeah, I mean, I would have definitely kept him for sure.
That's awesome.
So obviously, being in the flower industry, you see highs and lows of relationships, right? You're sending apology flowers. You're sending, I love you and I want to marry you flowers. So any relationship advice you would have to offer, obviously being married, you said how long? 16 years?
We've been married 16 years. Yeah,
That's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So 16 years of marriage, you're in the flower industry, very involved in like relationships, and you see those highs and lows. Would you offer any advice to, and really this could be across the board, married, single, any relationship advice?
Well, first step when you order flowers, come in to order them and handwrite the card.
Oh, I love
That's
that.
the first step.
Yes.
And then let us deliver it, because automatically us women will look and go, wait, this was delivered and it's handwritten. He made the effort, the extra effort
I love that.
for me.
Yes.
So
I forgot my notepad.
yes,
Now I'm gonna need it.
I'm pointing at you. Handwrite the
I wore
card.
this.
Just replay the
I wore this
podcast.
shirt because that's the zone I've been in for a long time. So we're
We're
taking
both wearing
notes.
our Valentine's Day
Yes.
shirts.
Burn.
Wasn't.
No, I'm just joking. But so what else? What else other than just going through and doing cards? What else? What other mental notes can I watch this back and know what I need to do?
Just be of service. Really, everybody has the 7 love languages or, but if you are of service to somebody, just saying, can I do something for you? Are you okay? And be available. Presence is everything.
I would agree with you. And, as when I my love language is physical touch. Like, you hold my hand, you rub my back. If I don't feel well, like those things truly make me feel loved. But as I've become a mom and a business owner, and I'm so busy and so covered up, like having someone do the smallest act of service for me, it might be, doing the dishes or just cleaning up before we go to bed or whatever. That is truly what makes you feel loved when you're in this stage of busy life. So I would agree with that. It's just being and finding little ways like to be present and to show that you put thought into like your box. How thoughtful.
I tried.
That was
Yes.
I
That was
would have
great.
died. If
I would
got
have.
that.
Yes, I would have loved that.
I'm
Yes.
sending it to the wrong people.
That's why. Yeah,
Yes.
I'm mad at this.
She wasn't ready. She wasn't
She
ready.
wasn't ready.
Toxic
Yes.
era.
Yes, definitely. And writing the card,
Yeah.
Yeah.
just the extra effort.
I like
Yeah,
that.
Little extra.
I think the love languages is like a huge piece of it. I think 5 or 7, whatever the number is, but people don't love or receive love the same way.
Yeah.
Like I might, like acts of service was one for me, but like words of affirmation, that's something for somebody else. And I think like telling them what's on your mind, like people can't read your mind. They don't know what you're thinking. So like even tonight, I had to work late. And then I'm here for the podcast. And so I told Ron, I was like, I really don't want you to have to like handle the girls like all by yourself. So like saying what I'm thinking, right? Like they don't know how you feel unless you say it. And he's like, I'm your dad. Like that's just my thing. Like I got this, you know? And so I think the more that you build that up over time, the better the relationship gets for sure. But if you don't say what you're thinking, they don't know.
And this is kind of a tangent, something cool. I've been able to figure out my kids' love languages. And so Xander's is physical touch. I mean, that kid is touching me 24/7. But one of the reasons I wanted to go on that tangent is because you guys have some special kid Valentines that I wanted you to pull out and show. I will be sending these to my boys at school. So I didn't ever think...
Mom, I'll take one at work, please. Thank you.
Well, I always do something special for my kids, but I never thought to, just like, I adore having flowers delivered to me at work. Like, I'll be knee deep in like the most stressful day of my life, and one of the girls will be like, there's a bouquet of flowers at the front. And of course, everybody wants to know what they are. But I never thought about my kids getting a delivery at school. So tell us a little bit about that and show us what you brought.
Okay, so this year we are doing 2 different school specials. And they have different balloons.
Okay, hold on. Let me.
Okay,
Look,
you take that one.
So
Okay.
so this is a snake, and it's got a tongue.
It's a frog.
Oh, it's a frog.
I thought it was a frog.
You know what? Okay, I see the frog. Okay, but it could be a snake. Either
He's
one.
catching a fly. Okay,
But that's
He's
his little
ready.
tongue. Okay, and then what is this?
That's freeze-dried candy, which is all the rage.
It is the rage right now.
Yes.
Yes, this is so freaking adorable. So I can call you, give you my kid's school and their name and a message, and then this one's for
This
little
is
girls.
yes, it's a little princess.
Oh, it looks like Frozen.
Yes, that is Elsa. You got that one right.
Thanks. I know my princesses. Okay, I might not know my animals, but I know my princesses. So I love these. I'm super excited. Go ahead and mark my kids. I'll send you all their info.
Is the princess and the frog? I'm so sorry.
You're so right. But that's romantic too. Yes.
That is so cute.
I'm a Disney freak, so
Yay.
Those are so fun. I'm really excited for the boys to receive these at school.
Yes,
So-
I'm sending my boys each one of these, and then it'll have a bow with the card message on it and to
Very
who
sweet.
it goes to and everything.
That is so
And there's
cute.
enough in that for them to share. So it's not like they're, they can pass it around to the kids in school. So love
Which leads
that.
me to, if people want to order them or call you to order them, how do they do that?
Okay,
Where do they need to go?
Hand me these. I'll hold these while you.
Here, I'll hold one. I'll hold one.
Here, give them the princess.
You're the frog.
You're the frog. I love it.
I'll kiss you.
Magic.
Okay. All right.
I love that. So you can order them either online at www.etownflorist.net. We are so old that we are .net. We are not .com.
I love that.
Yeah. So either etownflorist.net or you can call us. So do you want me to plug the number?
Yeah,
Go for it.
Plug your number.
Okay. So 270-765-4134.
4134. Perfect.
Yes.
Guys,
Well, and-
I just have to comment, do not miss this holiday for the woman in your life.
For the guys that just haven't done it in years, now's your time.
Don't be that guy at Kroger's at midnight the night before buying some cheap bouquet with a card.
We're not supposed to do that?
I will say this. I'll take anything. I'm not above that. That's okay. It's the thought that counts. But
sure.
this lady can make flowers look like $1 million. So make sure you save your pennies and give her a call or her team. We want to take her over the 1,000 mark. We want to put Stanley's steamer all over this town.
Right. That's
We
right.
want to have all of our team,
She's
Mono
gonna have to
Morgan,
call us
Brennan Hamburg,
in.
we're all coming out
That's
on
it.
Valentine's
We're
Day.
Dude,
there.
marketing, guys.
Let's
So
do it.
come on.
Deliver
We're
some
ready.
flowers.
Wear your
We're ready.
logo. Wear your logo.
I would deliver some flowers. That might make my whole holiday.
And it's a Friday
love
this year,
that.
so it's going to be busy. It's a
Ooh.
Friday this year. So, well, Brittany, we always like to end our podcast with a little bit of a rapid fire question.
Yeah,
so
let's do it.
We're kind of putting you under the gun here, but
Radar.
just quick answers on some things you like about the town.
I gotta sit up straight.
Gotta get prepped.
Yes.
What's your favorite local restaurant?
JR Neighbors.
Favorite thing to do?
Really good at my kids' sporting games.
Oh,
Oh, that's fun. I bet that's a lot
the
of
mama
era
for
I'm
you.
in, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
right?
What is your favorite hobby?
Making flowers.
I love it. Working.
Should have known.
Yeah, working all the time.
Should have known.
Yeah.
And what's one word you use to describe our area?
Peaceful.
I like that.
I love that. That one's new.
That is a new one.
That's a
Well,
new one.
I think
Some good words.
everybody's come up with something different.
different.
I love that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
It's
would
been unique.
I would say something random and not as good as that. So. And then last one, what is your favorite local event?
There's many.
She does
We
so
have a
many. She
lot
can't
of
She
pick.
does the
around here.
flowers for probably
Yeah.
most of them.
Yes.
Can I give a top 3?
Yes.
Top 3. Let's hear
Okay.
it.
I love Black and White Night because it supports
It's
the
coming
school.
up.
Yes,
so excited. Are
Yes.
you doing all the flowers?
Yes.
Oh, of course you are. I'm so
Yes.
excited to see them.
And I mean, they raise a lot of money for the school, so
They
that's
do.
good.
They do.
So Black and White Night for sure. And actually one that's, I feel like not everybody gets involved, but it is impactful, very impactful. It is our brotherhood banquet that partners with COSAIR Charities. And in the last 8 years, they had raised $2 million for the
Wow.
NICU at Hardin Memorial. And they redid the whole, in just 8 years.
Wow.
So that's another event. And that's coming up as well. But that makes a huge impact because,
Yes.
directly here in our community.
I was
So-
born at Hard Memorial. That's kind of special to me.
Right.
So that's cool.
Yeah, so I mean that one's like fabulous, and then I also like the wine at Freeman Lake, the wine
yeah,
festival.
yeah, the wine festival. It's at a perfect time of the year. It's nice. It's usually cooler out, and that's a good one. And getting huge. I mean, every year it's grown significantly.
Is that like a date night thing? Would that be a thing to take someone to a
no,
date
you're coming
night
with us
thing, or
this
what's-
year. It's a girls, it's
Yeah,
a guys.
is that
No, I was trying
You
to
will
get a
meet
date out there.
somebody. You will
you
meet
want it to be
somebody.
a date night?
I'll go with you
Yes.
guys. Okay.
Wow, way to act like we're a
No.
secondary option.
She's taking back the kiss, okay?
Rude. No wonder you're a frog.
Okay, here's one more for you. Wine, women, and shoes, and
Oh,
we need to
hell
make
yes.
him one of the men that does the wine.
I don't know what I'm
Hey,
signing up for, but let's
Jennifer
do it.
Swope, we've got you a
Girl,
new
right here, right
All
New
right.
shoe guy.
a new shoe guy.
Yes,
Yeah.
the shoe guy. That's
I
right.
cannot wait.
I'm wearing
Yes.
Hey Dudes that you
Hey, hey, they might go, hey, dude.
Okay, I'm in.
Oh my gosh.
Sign me up.
I love it.
I'm not cutting it. There's no way that's getting.
Okay, fine. Now you're fine. I can handle it.
Well, awesome.
Yeah, well, I just want to say thank you. I truly feel like I said earlier, I've loved and respected you and just have enjoyed so much the relationship that we have built. But this, I've fallen even deeper in love with you. Like, I'm very truly respect and am humbled that we were able to spend this time together and the hilarious stories. And guys, we hope you will have the most wonderful Valentine's Day, whoever you're celebrating it with. Maybe it's a family member, maybe it's your brothers like I did last year, whatever, in whatever way that may be. We just hope you have a wonderful holiday. Danelle, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you
Elizabeth
so much.
Forrest,
Thank you.
yes.
Thank you.
We are so excited. So
Happy Valentine's Day,
Yeah,
guys.
happy
Happy Valentine's Day.
And
Yes.
as always, we'll see you in 2 weeks.
yep,
Yep.
see you in
All
2
right.
weeks.